Hello, I'm Jan Levinsky and you're watching Break the Fake. They make them, we break them, and tell you everything you need to know. Comrade Tsar Putin is back with his favorite bedtime story, nuclear threats and fantastical promises of doom. This time, he's shaking his fist at Kyiv, promising to target, and I quote, decision-making centers. Oh, and if Ukraine even thinks about getting nuclear weapons, he swears to unleash all of Russia's might. All of it. Literally all of it. Terrifying, right? Except we've heard this song before. More times than we've seen a Russian oligarch deny owning a yacht.
Зарубин, телеканал «Россия». Да, вы сегодня уже многое рассказали про орешник. Но вот западные СМИ пишут, что в боеголовке орешника не было взрывчатки. И если это действительно так, то что это означает? И можете, может быть, еще какие-то новые детали про орешник там рассказать? И как много в целом секретных разработок подобного рода у нас, как вы сказали, в меню? Чем будет доволен клиент? Спасибо.
Вы понимаете, если я сказал, что мы проводим испытательные пуски, то это значит, что эта работа нацелена в том числе на совершенствование этого оружия. Так и есть. Что касается ударных возможностей, то я уже тоже сказал. Если применять его в несколько таких систем в одном ударе сразу, использовать 2, 3, 4 комплекса, то это будет по силе сопоставимо с применением ядерного оружия. Но ядерным не является, поскольку оно является высокоточным, и не оснащено ядерным взрывным устройством.
So then there is the piece de resistance, the Oreshnik missile. Putin boldly compared its impact to a meteorite, forming entire lakes upon striking. Lakes? Who knew weapons of mass destruction were the next big thing in landscape architecture? In his wild imagination, a few of these bad boys could rival a nuclear strike. You'd almost think Russia had mastered sci-fi, but alas, they are still struggling with basic logistics like keeping their tanks properly fueled. Meanwhile, the West yawns. I mean, understandably so. Putin's threats are as predictable as his staged photo ops. Maybe next time, he should try something new, like solving his country's crumbling economy, for example? Oh, wait, that's far less exciting than playing Galactic Overlord. The dynamic duo strikes again, Putin and Lukashenko, the geopolitical Laurel and Hardy of our times. This week's episode features a joking conversation between the two about deploying Russia's shiny new Oreshnik missiles, yeah, those again, on Belarusian territory, because clearly nothing screams sovereignty like eagerly offering your territory as a launchpad for somebody else's nuclear tantrums.
Мировая тема. Президент России только что очень детально, подробно рассказал о системе «Орешник», о новой. Вот на ваш взгляд, тех, кто довел практически уже мир и поставил на грань Третьей мировой войны, это вообще должно охладить?
Так уже охладило. Это же мы сразу видим по заявлениям средств массовой информации. Вы видите, что, правда, уже нет единой линии, все пошло в разнобой. Это говорит о том, что немножко растерялись. Но оружие хорошее. Не ядерное оружие, а по своей мощи сопоставимо с ядерным оружием. Естественно, я тут старшему брату пошутил, говорю, места готовы дислокации, когда? Подумаем.
By the way, you might have noticed the logo in the background, the CSTO, Collective Security Treaty Organization, Russia's so-called evil NATO, which effectively proved to be more of an abusive father because it only intervenes on the territory of its own members. Quite fitting in this case. Anyway, Lukashenko, ever the loyal lapdog, was quick to sell this whole thing as casual chat. Oh, we were just kidding, he would say, while handing Putin a pen to sign the paperwork. And Putin? Well, he is thinking about it, probably because launching from Belarus shaves precious minutes of the missile's travel time to Kyiv. Efficiency is key when you're threatening the world, right? It is almost touching how Lukashenko bends over backwards to stay relevant nowadays. Hosting Russia's missiles is like shouting, "Look, Vlad, I'm useful, don't forget about me." Meanwhile, Belarusian citizens are left wondering if they'll get any say in turning their country into a glorified weapons depot. Spoiler alert, They will not. At this rate, maybe Lukashenko should just rename Belarus Putin's backyard and be done with it. After all, why stop at missiles when there is an entire country to surrender? Patriarch Kirill, Russia's holiest double agent and Putin's spiritual hype man, in his latest sermon-turned-propaganda session, he assured his flock that nuclear weapons are nothing to fear, because after all, Christians aren't afraid of the apocalypse. How comforting. Nothing says peace on earth like cheerleading for Armageddon while wearing golden robes. But Kirill didn't stop there, you see. No, he couldn't resist singing praises for Russia's shiny new Oreshnik missile, yes, again, calling it a stop machine. I don't know what he meant by that, but anyway, and also saying that scientists are to be praised for their fantastic and incredible weapon, because apparently there is nothing more Christ-like than glorifying tools of mass destruction. Sermon on the Mount? Forget it. Sermon on the Missile is the new gospel.
Метание страха вокруг возможных апокалиптических сценариев, чрезмерный алармизм и спекуляции на ядерную тему не полезны с духовной точки зрения. Враг рода человеческого пытается посеять смятение и тревогу в сердцах людей, чтобы парализовать их волю и лишить их мужества. Ибо человеком, лишенным душевного мира, легче манипулировать. Он всего боится, он сам себя изнутри ослабляет. И всегда нуждается во внешней опоре, а внешняя опора является нередко фактором манипулирования извне. Не нужно всему этому подыгрывать. Христиане не боятся так называемого конца света.
One is left to wonder how this theological gymnastics actually works. Love thy neighbor, but nuke them if necessary. Or perhaps, blessed are the peacemakers unless they live in Ukraine. It's almost impressive how seamlessly Kirill weaves apocalyptic cheerleading into state propaganda while maintaining the illusion of divine authority. In the end, Kirill's true miracle isn't his faith, it's his ability to keep a straight face while delivering these absurdities. Move over, Vatican! Russia has its own version of divine intervention, and it comes with a missile launch button. Yeah, again, how comforting. Also, mixing religion with warfare, that does actually give you very strong Islamic State vibes. Some people say Russia, Islamic State with snow, and I'm not going to argue against that. The axis of the inept. Russia, Iran, Syria, and North Korea, proving once again that their collective dysfunction knows no bounds. Let's start with Syria, where Bashar al-Assad's army appears to be crumbling faster than the Soviet-era concrete bloc. The rebels are closing in on Aleppo, Syria's second-largest city, in a critical crossroads. Desperate, Assad allegedly dashed off to Moscow, likely to ask Vladimir Putin for help, or maybe just a cheap dacha near Rostov. Who knows? But alas, Putin's hands are tied. With his military quagmire in Avdiivka devouring every available resource, there is no friendship discount and firepower left for Bashar. Iran's in no position to help either, drowning in its own crises, and Hezbollah, they are practically on life support by now. So, Assad, my dear Habibi, looks like you're on your own. Meanwhile, Russian airstrikes continue to hit something in rebel-held areas, though what and where remains a mystery, because let's be honest, coordination isn't exactly Russia's strong suit. Their ground forces are too busy running for the hills to provide any meaningful support, but don't worry, Russian state media is here to save the day with its trusty kill counter, claiming rebel casualties in the hundreds per hour. It's a classic Kremlin tactic. Lie through your teeth until someone gives you a new script. Perhaps Assad's real mission in Moscow wasn't to beg for military aid, but to inquire about property listings. Who wouldn't want a cozy getaway in Rostov, far from the chaos he helped create? After all, every autocrat needs a plan B, and in this league of losers, a Russian dacha might be the only victory left to claim. And with this, we conclude this episode of Break the Fake. Please stay with us here on TVP World for more latest news and